In Exxat Prism, you can gather student immunization records, healthcare information, and other compliance documents to ensure students meet program and accreditation standards. Maintaining student compliance documentation up to date is crucial for their participation in clinical placements. If you are currently not signed up for our Exxat approved service, program administrators and staff responsible for overseeing compliance will need to review the student's compliance documents. This video is comprised of 14 chapters, and it will cover how to set up and review student compliance documentation. Before we proceed, we want to provide a disclaimer. The information presented in this tutorial does not belong to a real individual. We have included mock information solely for educational purposes. Additionally, please note that some features discussed may not be applicable to your program. To set up student compliance documents, click on the Student Compliance section on your dashboard, then click on the Setup tab. You will first need to select a cohort for which you would like to assign compliance documents. If this is the first time you are setting up compliance documents for this selected cohort, you will then need to select a template. A template is a pre-saved configuration of compliance documentation. Templates are helpful because they can provide a baseline for the setup of a cohort's compliance documents. These templates allow you to copy the compliance setup from one cohort to another. Click on the Select Template dropdown and select a cohort. You can check how each document will be set up using the set of status indicators listed next to the compliance requirement name. If the check mark is green, this means this compliance document is set to be activated. If the star icon is marked green, this means this requirement is set to be mandatory. If the review icon is marked green, this indicates that the documents will require review once they are uploaded. If the share icon is marked green, the document can be shared using the Share Profile functionality. Click on the eye icon to the right of these indicators to view the setup of the individual compliance document in more detail. Remember, you can change the way these compliance requirements are set up after applying the template. If this is the first cohort you are setting up with compliance documentation, you will need to start from scratch. If you would like to set up this cohort's compliance documentation from scratch, select None. Once you have selected one of these options, click on the Apply Template button. If you would like to add a new compliance category, click on the Add New Category button. You can then provide the category with a name and add requirements to this new category. You will then see this category added to the list of categories of compliance documents. If you would like to delete any requirements, you can use the trash bin icon to do so. To add new compliance documents to an existing category, click on the plus icon to the right of a category name. You can then add a new requirement using the text box. If you would like to add multiple requirements at one time, click on the Add a Requirement button and provide a name for the requirement. Once you are done, click the Save button. If you would like to make changes to the setup of specific compliance requirements, click on the pencil icon to the right of a requirement name. You will not be able to change the name of the compliance requirement, but you can set an alias name for it. This alias will be displayed in lieu of the original name. You can also set a short name for easy identification in the compliance section. Make sure the enabled bit is switched on to activate this compliance requirement. You can always toggle this bit to deactivate the requirement. You will then indicate if you would like to collect detailed or simplified information. Please note that the options available for setup on this page may vary depending on how each compliance document is configured. In this video, we will use the example of the COVID-19 vaccine to demonstrate the different fields. If you choose the simplified option, you can only collect a start date and an end date along with the compliance document. If you would like students to indicate a start date, check the box next to the start date. You can then provide an alias for the start date in the alias name text box. You can then do the same for the expiration date. If there are any additional fields you would like to add, click Yes under the Do You Want to Collect Other Details button. You can then add a question for your students to answer in the text box. It is possible to add up to 2 additional questions. If you choose the detailed option, you will also be able to collect additional details with this requirement. Indicate the additional details you would like to collect, then indicate whether you would like to set an expiration date for the collected document. You can then indicate if you would like the student to enter the expiration date, or if you would like to choose a specific expiration date. If you would like the expiration date to depend on the start date entered by the student, select the Expires Automatically in option and enter the number of days after the start date that you would like for the document to expire. You will then need to indicate if you would like to make this requirement mandatory, make it available in the shared profile link, and if you would like it to be reviewed. Please note, we offer the ability to protect student compliance information sent within shared student profiles and when emailing compliance information to experiential supervisors from the placements section. If you would like to set up this additional protection of student compliance information, please reach out to our support team at prism-support@exxat.com. After you have our support team set up this compliance protection functionality and you send student compliance information to an experiential supervisor, the site contact will click on the link within the sent email and they will be met with a screen asking them to enter the one-time password sent to their school email address. The email address that is sent this one-time password is the same email address you delivered the email to. Once they enter the one-time password, they will be able to view the student's compliance information. You can also see if a document is marked as sensitive or not. If a document is marked sensitive, only specific stakeholders can view this document uploaded by the student. You will not be able to mark a document as sensitive. If you would like to make a document sensitive, contact prism-support@exxat.com and provide the name of the document you would like to make sensitive and the stakeholders you would like to hide the document from. You will then need to select a due date for the compliance document. To choose a date, click on the calendar icon and then select a date. If you want to provide guidelines for completing the requirement, include those instructions in the Guidelines for Students area. If you are using the Exxat Approved service, you can also provide guidelines to our review team in the Guidelines for Reviewers area. Lastly, if you would like to provide a template for the student to download, complete, and re-upload, you can upload it in the template section. Just review the supported file types and size limits, then click the Browse to Upload button and select your document for upload. You can also upload a sample document for the student to view similarly. It can be helpful to upload a sample document, so your students can be sure they are submitting the required information correctly. After you have made these configurations, click the Save button at the top of the page. You can then configure all your compliance documents in a similar fashion. Once you have completely configured your compliance requirements for this cohort, click on the Publish button. This will publish this set of documents to all the students within the selected cohort. After you have published compliance documents for a cohort, you can still make some changes to the published documents, however there will be some configurations of specific documents which you will not be able to change. We also offer the option to send out weekly reminders to students containing all their expiring and expired compliance documents. Students will receive this notification every week, which will include all documents requiring their attention. Documents marked with statuses such as Get Started, In Progress, Not Approved, Expiring, or Expired will require an action from the student. To activate these auto notifications, click on the Auto Notifications button at the top of the page, then toggle the Enable Auto Notifications option. Please note that once you enable auto notifications, you will not be able to disable them on your own. If you would like to disable auto notifications, please contact prism-support@exxat.com for assistance. You will then need to enter an end date for the auto notifications, which is when they will stop being sent. If you do not want your students to be notified of these optional compliance requirements, toggle the Disable Notifications for Optional Requirements bit. After you enable auto notifications, students will also be notified of outstanding optional compliance requirements. After configuring this, click the Save button. Now that you have activated compliance requirements, let's walk through how to review student compliance documents. To review compliance documents, click on the Compliance tab. This will automatically take you to a page displaying the general compliance status for each cohort. The table will show the cohort's name, the number of compliant students out of the total number, the number of non-compliant students, the number of documents pending review within the cohort, the number of expiring documents, and the number of expired documents. You can search for specific cohorts using the search box at the top of the table. Additionally, you can choose to hide cohorts that do not have active documents assigned by toggling the corresponding bit above the search box. To access a cohort's compliance page, simply click on the cohort. You will be directed to the Dashboard tab. Here, you can view helpful graphs displaying compliance statuses by student, individual documents, and the entire list of documents. Click on a colored status on one of the graphs to view a list of the selected compliance documents. Switch to the Summary tab to see all the compliance documents for the cohort. In the Summary table, you will find each student's name and the status of each of their active compliance documents. Beneath each compliance requirement name, you can find icons indicating whether the document was set up to require review, whether it can be included in a shared profile link, whether the document is mandatory, and the due date. Hover over the calendar icon to check when the document is due. If the calendar icon is marked red, it means the document's due date has passed, and you should ensure students have uploaded these requirements and they have been reviewed immediately. Click on the student's name to view their profile. You can also view any tags assigned to the student. Additionally, you can search for specific students using the search box or filter the list of students using the filter icon. We can now proceed to review individual compliance documents. If you wish to download a student's compliance information, click on the Download button. Then, select the documents you want to download. Please note that any documents marked as sensitive will not be available for download. After selecting the desired documents, you can choose to download a PDF report of the selected documents or a zip file containing the specified documents uploaded by the student. To download the details of all the student's compliance documents, click on the Download Document Details Report button. This will export the details of each compliance document in Excel format. You can also download the compliance summary table in Excel format using the export icon. Use the full screen icon to make your web browser enter full screen mode. You will need to review any compliance documents that are pending review. To do so, click on the status of a compliance document. A window will open, where you'll find information about the student's submission. To view the student's uploaded document, click on the View Document hyperlink. If everything appears correct and the uploaded document satisfies the compliance requirement, select Approve from the drop-down menu. You can then choose a reason for approving the document, especially if there are special circumstances. If the document does not meet the compliance requirement, such as if the wrong document was uploaded, select Not Approved. You'll need to provide a reason for marking the document as not approved. If you intend to revisit the document later for review, click on Pending Review and specify the reason for selecting this status. If you wish to unsubmit the document for the student to make changes, select the In Progress status. You can then set a follow-up date. To add comments to the student, use the comment area. This is helpful if you want to provide additional clarifications. In the upper right-hand corner of the window, you'll find the Review Clarifications section. You can use this section if you are using approved services to leave messages to our approved team or see messages added by them regarding this specific compliance document. These messages are not visible to students. Click on the plus icon to add a new message. A window will appear with a text area for your message. Below this, you'll see a list of previous messages added by you or another administrator. After providing your message, click Save, and it will be added to the list. Please note that you can also review student compliance documents on the Compliance tab of a student's profile page and within the Student Compliance section of a specific course. If you notice that the due date for the compliance document is incorrect, or you would like to extend the due date for this student, click on the pencil icon next to the due date for the document. If you would like to change the due date of the document for the entire cohort, for example, if you realize you entered the wrong date previously, select the due date configured for the requirement option. If you would like to change the due date for only this student's compliance requirement, for example, if you would like to give the student some more time to upload the requirement, select the due date specific to the student option. You can then select the due date by clicking on the calendar icon. Click on the Confirm button once you are finished and the compliance document's due date will be updated. You may want to update the compliance document itself on behalf of the student. If this is the case, click on plus or pencil icon to upload a new document or change the submitted compliance details. You can then change any associated dates using the calendar icon. You can provide notes to the document and upload files using the Upload Files button. To delete an uploaded file, click on the trash bin icon next to the file's name. You can then upload a new file. When you are done making changes to the compliance documentation, click on the Save button. If a student's compliance document is expiring or expired, you may want to upload a new document on behalf of the student. To do so, click on the document with an expiring or expired compliance status. Then click on the Add New Record button. When you do so, the student's old compliance document will be archived. Click on the Confirm button if you are sure you would like to do so. You can then click on the plus icon in the sections of the compliance document to provide the necessary details and upload the new document. Once you are ready, click on the Save button. The new document will then be uploaded. You can then update the status of this document as necessary. At the bottom of the compliance window, you can view the archived records. Click on the Expand button in the View Archived Records accordion to view the previously archived compliance documents. You can view general information about the compliance document and the date the document was archived. Click on the View Document hyperlink to view the previously uploaded and archived compliance document. Click on the View All Clarifications hyperlink to review the previously added review clarifications related to the archived compliance document. Click on the Notification tab. In the Notification tab, you can send notifications containing the status of students' compliance documents. You may want to do this to notify a student of their outstanding compliance requirements or to tell them you have approved their documents. You can use the search and filter options to find specific students. Click on the drop-down next to the student's name to select specific requirements you would like to notify them of. If you want to include all the documents in the notification email, check the box next to the student's name. You can select multiple students to send this notification to. After you have made your selections, click on the Compose Email button. A window will open for you to configure this notification. Go ahead and click Next. You will then select the template for the email you would like to send. You can select our pre-made standard template, or any other template you have created. Click Add a Template to add a new template. You can then provide a template name, subject name, and header and footer layout for the email template. You will then provide a body for the email template. Be sure to use the merge fields displayed in the upper right-hand corner of the page. These merge fields will be replaced with the information relevant to this specific email correspondence. When you are done, you can click Save. If you would like to delete a previous template, click on the template list, then click on the trash bin icon to the right of the template name. To edit a previously added template, click the template, then click the Edit button. You can then make changes to this template. Once you are done, select a template and click Preview. You can then choose to send the notification now or schedule it to be sent later. If you choose to schedule the email to be sent later, you will need to provide the date you want it to be sent. On the left-hand side of this window, you will see a preview of the notification. Once you are ready to send the email, click Send. To view the history of past compliance notifications sent, click on the History button in the top right-hand side of the page. You can then select a cohort you would like to view the history of, then you can select specific dates which you would like to view the history for. Lastly, you can choose to view notifications sent automatically, manually, or both. The table below will show all relevant notification instances. There will be columns for the student's name, the recipient's email, the subject of the notification, its status, who delivered the email, the date and time that the email was sent, and whether the email was scheduled to be sent. It is useful to check the status of these notifications regularly to ensure they were sent successfully. If a notification was not sent successfully, it will be assigned the dropped status. If you are having issues with these notifications, and they have frequently been dropped, please reach out to prism-support@exxat.com for assistance. If a notification has been sent successfully, the instance will be assigned the delivered status. If a notification was opened by the recipient, the instance will be assigned the opened status. Hover over the information icon of opened notifications to view the date and time the recipient opened the email. In the Reports section, you can access a list of reports to check compliance status. When you select the Pending Review Requirements option, you will see a list of documents awaiting review. You can filter this list using the search box and filter options, and download it in Excel format using the Export button. Additionally, you can review a document by clicking on its status. Similarly, in the Expiring or Expired Requirements report, you will find a list of documents with expiring and expired statuses, functioning similarly to the Pending Review report. Now, navigate back to the Compliance tab of the Student Compliance section and select the View by Student option. When viewing by student, you can check if individual students' compliance requirements are complete. Use the search box and filter options to find specific students. The table will display relevant compliance information for each student and their overall compliance status. If no document has been submitted yet, the status No Docs Started will be assigned to the student. If there are any documents still requiring attention either from you or the student, the status Some Attention Needed will be assigned. To adjust the columns of the table, click on the wrench icon. You can then reorder the columns using the double ellipses. To delete a column, click on the trash bin icon. To add any deleted columns, click on the Add a Column button and select the relevant column. Once you're finished, click Save. To export the information displayed in this table, click on the Export button. The table will then be exported in Excel format. Click on one of the student statuses to review each compliance document, as you would in any other section. Now click on the View by Document tab. You will see a detailed list of every compliance document assigned to a student in your program. Scroll right on the table to view more detailed information about the compliance document. You can use the search box to search for specific documents. Just like in the other sections, you can use the Export button to export the table in Excel format, and you can use the wrench icon to make changes to the columns of the table. Within the table, you can click on a student's name to go to the student's profile page, and you can click on a document status to review the student's compliance document. Thank you for watching our setting up and reviewing student compliance tutorial. Please take the time to check out our other helpful Exxat tutorials.